Hello comrades, this is Chetty here, and as you guys can tell by the title, inside today's video, I'm going to be going over my top 10 favorite films of 2019, so let's get right into it. So coming in at my number 10 spot is going to be Captain Marvel, and overall, I really enjoyed this movie. I think it's one of the best MCU films. I love the story, I think the cast is great in it, the special effects are good, and the action is awesome. Overall, it's just an extremely entertaining movie. Coming in at my number 9 spot is going to be Hellboy. I think this is probably the most underrated film on the list. It's really a shame that this flopped because honestly, I think everything about this film is awesome. I love David Harbour as Hellboy. I think he gives an awesome performance. The action in it's great. I think the story is really interesting. And it does kind of suck that it flopped because I think it's a really good movie. Coming in at my number 8 spot is going to be Brightburn. Now, I really like that this film combines two of my favorite genres and puts them into one. In some ways, it's a horror movie. There are horror elements to it. But then, at the same time, it also has that sort of superhero action aspect to it. And it just mixes into this really entertaining movie. Essentially, it's the Superman origin story, but the film asks the question, what if Superman is evil? What if he was sent to this Earth to take it over? And it's just a really interesting movie, and I would really recommend checking it out. Coming in at my number 7 spot is going to be Stuber. This is probably one of the most fun movies of the year. It stars Dave Bautista and Kamal Nanjiani, and they work really well together. They play off each other very well. This movie is hilarious. There's so many funny lines. The action in it is surprisingly really good. I really like that this film knows what it is. It's just a fun and entertaining ride from start to finish, and if you haven't seen it, I would highly recommend checking it out. Coming in at my number 6 spot is going to be John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum. In my opinion, this is one of the best action movies ever made. The action is just phenomenal. It's all practical, it's creative, and personally, I think this is the best of the series. I love the story, it's incredibly unique, it's never been done before, and I can't wait to see where it's going to go in Chapter 4 because the way that this ended off was a massive cliffhanger, so I can't wait to see what they're going to do next with the John Wick series. Coming in at my number 5 spot is going to be Spider-Man Far From Home. In my opinion, this is the best Spider-Man movie. I think it has one of the best villains in it, Mysterio. Jake Gyllenhaal is great as the role, and the story is interesting. It's just a really fun and entertaining movie. I would definitely recommend checking it out. Coming in at my number 4 spot is going to be Child's Play. In the past, I've loved the Chucky movies, especially Curse and Cult, but somehow this managed, in my opinion, to beat those. I think this is the best Chucky movie. I really love how this sort of rebooted the series. It pays homage to the original, but it's also its own story, and it's kind of taking the series in a new direction. And personally, I love the movie. I love Mark Hamill as Chucky. I think the kid actors in it are great, and I'm really hoping we get a sequel because I would really love to see where the story is going to go next. Coming in at my number 3 spot is going to be Avengers Endgame. How could I not include this film? It's the biggest movie of all time. As someone who's a fan of the MCU, as someone who's seen every movie, this film is just phenomenal. It does a great job of bringing together this massive universe in one epic final conclusion. That's really one word that I would use to describe this, is just epic. The final battle is amazing. Besides the Howard the Duck cameo, what is that? There is some moments in this film, there's stuff that I don't love, like Professor Hulk. I think Fat Thor is kind of stupid. But everything that there is good, everything that's bad, there is 100 stuff that is good. For one thing that's bad, there's 100 stuff that's good. This is just a fantastic film. The cast in it's great. I love the story, and I can't wait to see where the MCU is going to go next and how exactly they're going to manage to top this. Coming in at my number 2 spot is going to be Shazam. Now, in my opinion, this is one of the most surprising movies of the year. I had loved the DCEU in the past. In fact, I've given every movie a 10 out of 10 before Shazam, besides Man of Steel and Suicide Squad. But for me, the marketing really didn't do anything. I didn't think the trailers were that great. But coming out of the film, I really enjoyed it. I think this is one of the most entertaining movies of the year. Zachary Levi gives a great performance as Shazam. I just love this movie. I love the villain in it. I love how it's sort of a callback to early 2000 superhero movies like SpiderMan. I just think it's a really great movie. Personally, it's one of my favorite movies, probably of all time. And some honorable mentions of some films that I did really enjoy that just didn't quite make the list are Hobbs and Shaw, Rambo Last Blood, and Terminator Dark Fate. And coming in at my number 1 spot is going to be Cats. No, actually, obviously, if you have been watching the channel for a while, you know that it's Joker. This is the movie of the year. Honestly, I think this is the best movie of the decade. It's just a fantastic film. The cast is phenomenal. Joaquin Phoenix gives a fantastic performance. Hands down the best Joker. I thought Robert De Niro was great in it. I love the story, and I really feel like this will go down in history as a cinematic masterpiece. It really switched up the genre, and I think in the future we're going to be seeing a lot of films, studios, whenever they do make films, taking note from Joker. I just think it's a phenomenal movie. Hands down, in my opinion, I think it's one of the best movies ever made. It's hands down the movie of the decade. And yeah, guys, that is my top 10 favorite movies of 2019. Comment down below your list, and if you haven't done so, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and turn that post notification bell. And I will see you guys later today with a brand new video. This is Shazam off. Peace out.